everyone, and welcome to this special edition of The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Villaverde.
And I'm Montel Williams. Today's show is all about tapping into the power of effective co-parenting. And it all starts right now.
That's right. Good morning, everyone. As we tap into the power of effective co-parenting, we begin with two very special guests who have dedicated themselves to creating the perfect communication service. That's the key word there, communication service, which provides a variety of tools to help co-parents work together in a constructive and safe space.
Stephen Nixon, founder of Talking Parents, and Heather Ruiz, the director of marketing. Welcome both of you to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Looking forward to talk about this.
Stephen, look, the story and inspiration behind this whole thing is very interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and tell me a little bit about the incredible technology?
You know, the original idea for Talking Parents came to me back in 2010 when I was practicing family law. All of my family law cases, regardless of the type of case or whether it was an original case, a divorce, a paternity case, or somebody coming back to court later, every single one of those cases involved poor communication between parents. And in addition to poor communication between the parents, they would go back and forth, and what we would end up doing is wasting a great deal of time in court. Just trying to establish what the parents had actually been saying to each other. And so I saw the need for a service that would keep one record between the parents of everything that they're saying to each other, so that anything that they said, anything that they did through our service would be kept on one singular record, that they couldn't alter, that they couldn't delete anything. And if they did end up back in court, there would only be that one record as evidence. The hope there was that keeping these records would create accountability for the parents so that they would be more likely to communicate effectively. And then if something did come up, something that they could not decide on, and there was a disagreement that they had to go back to court on, that it would be a little bit easier to resolve, that they would take their lawyer less time to prep for the case, and then if they ended up back in the courtroom, it would take a little bit less time to conduct the hearings, which, as we know, saves everybody a great deal of money and a great deal of time.
I find this to be just fascinating because as soon as he started talking, I was thinking about my brother, and he was, and I don't want to get too much into details, but he was involved in a very long and bitter divorce, which took about 6 to 7 years. This could have come in handy. And I've seen that happen to so many of my friends, loved ones, and it's really sad, Heather. Talk to me a little bit more about the app and how it works, its features.
So Talking Parents is an all-in-one communication service. So you can send messages very much like text messaging. What sets us apart in that area is that there are viewed timestamps. So when your co-parent receives and looks at the message, it says that they have viewed it. So no he said, she said, or I didn't see that. The other important thing is that once you send a message, it cannot be edited or deleted. So with the new iPhones these days, you can change your messages or even delete them after they've been sent. With Talking Parents, that cannot happen. So that original communication piece is also always there. We also allow parents to make phone or video calls to their co-parent or even to their children. And what's great about the phone and video calls through the app is that those are recorded as well as transcribed. So even though you're having a conversation that's not being written down, it's still documented and it's still there so that you can refer back to at a later date if you need to.
And I think this is all important because I'm thinking to myself, peace of mind, protecting privacy, protecting the rights. I mean, all of these, you have to take into account.
Absolutely. You don't have to share your phone number or your email address or any of your physical location or other personal information with your co-parent either. Everything is handled through the application. Just like sending money, transferring money to each other, you don't have to share your bank account information. You can do that all through the app. So privacy, protection, as well as that security aspect too.
Do you get feedback from some people that say, gosh, I wish this was around when I got divorced, or someone that's going through it and says, you have no idea how helpful this was for me?
We hear from our users all the time. They actually reach out to us pretty consistently through social media, even emailing us. They want to share their stories and the impact that the service has had on them. And a lot of them want to get the information out there so that other people know about it as well. We just had a user the other day, Caroline Kelly, reached out to us about her situation with her 2 children and how traumatic that separation and divorce was that she went through, and the night and day difference that Talking Parents made for her and her children.
Well, let's pick up from there because we actually went to visit Caroline and we talked to her about the use of Talking Parents, and we followed her through this journey. So let's hear what she has to say.
My name is Caroline Kelly, and I was born and raised in San Diego. I am a single mom to 2 kids. My oldest is 8 years old, and her name is Madeline. And my youngest is Charlie, and he's 7 years old. I got divorced in 2018. It was a very difficult transition because it was very unexpected, and it was really hard to kind of navigate all the grief that I was going through while also protecting my kids from the ins and outs and the conflict that comes along with divorce. One of the biggest challenges in the beginning was communication. We weren't able to just have a normal conversation and talk about things that we needed to talk about without fighting. And one of the things that really helped with my communication with my ex was the Talking Parents app. It allowed me a lot of space in order to build a whole new co-parenting relationship. Moving from a marriage when we were living in the same home and parenting kids together to a co-parenting relationship, which is in 2 separate homes, is a huge challenge. And this app allowed me to really step back and put distance between myself and my ex-husband. One of the features of the Talking Parents app that makes things much easier is that every message is labeled with a topic and it's easy to search. So at this point, I have over 4 years worth of messages that go back and forth between us, and there's a lot of information in there. And sometimes I do have to go back and look for what we did a previous holiday or what we did for back to school. And so I can just type in a word and it brings up every single message that ever has been sent between us with that word in it. One of my favorite features is the timestamp, which seems very small and insignificant, but it's really great because in an email, you send the email to someone and you don't know if they've read the message. And so I like that if I send a message to my co-parent or he sends a message to me, it shows when we open the message. It shows the date and the time. And so once I send a message and I see that he's read it, I know that I can just wait until he responds and vice versa. You can do phone calls through the app. There's secure payments that can be done through the app. And again, that just streamlines everything. So you aren't using outside various things. You have to go track where you sent money or what you were calling about. Everything's just right there in the app. One of the other features is using a shared calendar, and you can put what kids' activities are on the calendar and what each person needs to remember, which is hard because co-parenting, there's just a lot of different things going on. I would definitely recommend Talking Parents app to anyone who is going through a divorce or who is co-parenting with someone. I think that it just really keeps everything in one spot and it keeps you very organized. It also really eliminates a lot of conflict. And so if you do have a high conflict divorce, you don't really want to be talking that much in person, especially at the beginning. And it really helps reestablish a line of communication. And I think that's really beneficial for kids so that they don't see what's going on with the parents' divorce and so they don't overhear conversations that the parents are talking about in person. Well, I've learned a lot of lessons going through this, but one of the biggest lessons I learned is that life is very unpredictable and it does not go according to plan. And so rebuilding my life and realizing that I could raise my kids on my own and I could heal and I could grow this whole new career for myself was incredibly empowering. I never thought that I would be as strong as I am today, and I'm very proud of myself for doing everything that I've done to heal and also to protect my children.
welcome back. Before that commercial break, what an incredible story.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, the kids, can we just talk about the children?
Yeah.
And Caroline and what she's been through, and I mean, just wow. That's all I'm going to say. One of probably thousands. And all I can think of is, what do you feel? I mean, you've poured so much of your life into this, right?
It's been incredibly rewarding over the years.
I can only imagine.
To hear back from Talking Parents users to tell us how it has affected their lives in a positive way, you know. And sometimes you'll even hear from a user who's not happy about using the service at first, especially if they've been, say, court-ordered to use it. And then we'll often hear back from those same users years later sometimes to tell us what an incredible difference it's made in their lives and how glad they are that they've been using it, and telling us either how it saved them money, saved them time, or just helped improve their co-parenting relationship with the other parent. That has helped improve their own personal mental health and the quality of their lives and their children's lives. It's very rewarding.
So interesting what you just said, though. It can be court ordered. So the court can order you to get this app and let's do it this way.
It is. We have many users who are court ordered and required to utilize Talking Parents, and then we have many, many users who just use it on their own because it's a great idea.
And Heather, I mean, just from you, just knowing that you're helping somebody during probably one of the hardest times of their life.
Absolutely, and the support from Talking Parents doesn't just stop with the application and the service itself. We really want to create a community of support in every aspect for these co-parents that we work with. So we bring in experts from all different fields, financial advisors, mediators, divorce coaches, even other legal representatives from all over the country that utilize the service in their practice each and every day. And they come to us and either provide blog articles, or we host free webinars for users and non-users, anybody that's a co-parent or knows somebody going through this. And we provide this information at no cost because it's so important to us that all of the co-parents have access to all the information they need right at their fingertips at any time, no matter what their circumstance or situation is.
So now how does it work? If somebody wanted to download the app or get the service themselves, what do they have to do?
So they can go to our website, talkingparents.com. They sign up there. You do have to match with your co-parent in order to utilize the service. You can use it on your computer, or we also have a mobile app that you can download from the Android or Apple app stores as well.
Heather, Stephen, thank you so much for being here. What wonderful information.
I mean,
what a great
life-changing.
service. Yeah, absolutely.
Life-changing for so many people. So appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
We appreciate it.
I mean, really great stuff.
Absolutely.
And stay tuned. More to come. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with divorce coach and family mediation specialist Mark Pearson and Jennifer Segura as they break down why Talking Parents can be a game changer while embarking on your co-parenting journey. More to come.
We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to this special edition of The Balancing Act.
We're joined now by family mediator Jennifer Segura and divorce coach Mark Pearson as we continue this important yet fascinating discussion.
Absolutely. So nice to meet you both. Why don't you tell us a little about yourselves?
Yeah, well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a family mediator in San Diego, California. Our practice is West Coast Family Mediation Center. Primarily, we handle divorces, so we are working with both husband and wife or both partners from beginning to end through the whole divorce, and from filing the paperwork, making the agreements, and then getting their judgment to get through the whole process.
And Mark, tell us a little bit about what you do and your practice.
Certainly, yeah. So as a certified divorce coach, I help people through the rough spots in their divorce and save money along the way. So I'm in San Diego, California. However, I work anywhere in the nation because I'm certified. I'm not licensed in a particular state. I also work internationally.
So let me ask you on just the healthy practices that you recommend to families that are going through this. How do you do that? What do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I help someone advocate for themselves because a lot of this has to do with them not knowing where to go. They've really just had the ground just pulled out from them. And so they don't have the stability that they normally have. And so helping them learn to advocate for themselves and pull in some support from professionals across the board. It could be a lawyer, it could be a mediator, it could be a financial expert, but really listening to the professionals more than just friends and family, because a lot of times with friends and family, you're actually in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And so although a lot of people have been through it or know someone that has, it's really important to get that professional support.
And Jennifer, what are some of the most common challenges or situations that you've been presented with when you've been doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. With co-parents, I think one of the hardest things to kind of get past is the fact that once you are in separate homes, each parent may start to parent differently than they did in the marriage. There's just different dynamics. And so just letting go of how maybe the two of you decided to raise your kids, now they may be raised a little differently, and different processes that happen in a family, whether it's celebrating Christmas when you didn't used to celebrate Christmas, but now mom wants to do that and dad doesn't celebrate Christmas. So it's kind of letting go and allowing the other parent to parent the way that they see fit.
And let me ask both of you this. How are apps like Talking Parents helping in terms of merging that communication, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite thing about it is so all-inclusive. And what that really helps the individual do is to just really disengage where there might be a lot of banter normally with just a regular text or something back and forth. If they're able to just use the calendar part of it or just the finance part of it, then all of the extra stuff that might be communicated with the whys and the adjectives describing things and how they feel, that can all be left out with just using those individual segments of the app.
I would also add to that, I think there is something that just changes your mindset when you know you're going into an app. It kind of is like, okay, refocus. I'm focused on the kids when I'm in this app. I'm not, it's easy to shoot off a text and be angry, but in the app, you're going in, you're like, okay, this is just about the kids.
Mark, can you share an example of where Talking Parents really just made a big difference in the client's overall co-parenting experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So just this past Halloween, a client of mine was going to Colorado from California, and he had just very limited parenting time. So the time that he wanted to go and be there with the kids, he wanted to make the most of. And although they were using the app, there was still a lot of very descriptive language coming to him from the other side. And so he was able to disengage from that and really just take a look at how he wanted to spend time with his kids. And so he responded in much more factual language. And so it enabled him to see the kids more, because he was going to, instead of being kind of hemmed in by this idea of what his former wife wanted the situation to look like and him trying to respond to it, well, I don't want it that way. He was able to just take the facts out of it and spend some time together as a family at Halloween.
Great information. So appreciate your time and what you're doing, and your patience as well, because this takes a lot of patience.
It certainly does.
It does.
If people wanted to get more information about this incredible resources that you guys are offering, where would they go?
For us, westcoastfamilymediation.com. That's our website.
Mark, how about you?
And markpearsoncoaching.com.
And of course, if they wanted more information, they can always go to our website, thebouncingAct.com. We got to take a little break. We'll be back right after this.
Really great insights today. And by the way, if you want to learn more about the Talking Parents app and all of the amazing co-parenting communication tools they have, head over to talkingparents.com. Love this.
That's right. And for more on today's show, check us out on thebouncingAct.com, and make sure you follow us on all the social channels as well. Look, stay safe, love that family of yours. I'll see you next time.
Take care.